Well, it is not just office jobs that may never be the same post-pandemic. Things aren't looking good for business travel either. Janelle Bluda connects the dots.
Experts say as we learn more about COVID-19 and prepare for a vaccine, the chances of a travel comeback are increasing, but there's one sector that may change forever. Let's connect the dots. Travel industry watchers say work travel made up 21% of the nearly $9 trillion global travel and tourism industry in 2019. Now, as we prepare to close out the year 2020, experts warn a major drop-off could hit airlines, hotels, and convention centers hard for years to come. Hotels, which took in roughly 50% of their revenue from business travelers in 2019, have seen bookings plummet. And the airlines are feeling the pinch too. Southwest says business travel is down 90% this year, and Delta is preparing for a future that sees a 10 to 20% permanent drop in its business travel bookings. It's because companies big and small cut their travel and are now finding that virtual work can be just as good as connecting face to face. And while analysts don't think work trips will ever totally go away, they're increasingly preparing for a reshaped American economy post-pandemic. Connecting the dots, I'm Janelle Bluda for H-Town Rush.